Yes, we are speaking of one of the most popular topics today, the trapping two of the twin flame kind of sometimes obsession, but overall also too like what beings, divine feminine and masculine, have to go through just to even try to find that twin flame. So make connection. So we'll be going through details on, I mean, twin flames, what are twin flames. Then I'm also going to be talking about, I did make another video on twin flames, so you can check that out. We'll add all the links later. So I've really covered the twin flame and what are twin flames. I also have a course on the risingphoenixaurora.com where you can find all my information that I will be mentioning today. So under twin flame unions and how to manifest them, and you know, really how to bring that connection together. Okay, so you can check that out. And then, but otherwise, today is what I'm really going to be giving you an update is what's been happening on the collective. How has the twin flame been using invertedly, and especially to do with, like, you know, the dark sorcery or black spells, I guess you call it, but overall, like the spell that twin flames have been under, how this is breaking and has already broken. So we'll go through all the details of that. It's going to be an incredible show. Make sure you stay here if you want to manifest and bring forth and understand what has happened with the twin flame union. Why is it so corrupted and really targeted? Biggest one is going to be targeted for sure because the artificial intelligence, the future, you know, the future virus that wants to control humanity, knows that when twin flames get together, they're invincible, because basically quantumly, if you look at it, quantum physics or science, you're basically whole. Now, you're always whole though, energetically, spiritually, in the ether, you're always there, right? Together, because twin flames are born from the same flame, the same soul, a flame that has split from one another, okay? So you always have that connection. Now, the thing about it is that we are in a realm, a plane of existence, a third dimensional existence here, where it's a physical. And how do you manifest the twin flame union in a physical? So yeah, we'll be going through that and a bit of that, but overall, before you get there, you need to understand what has been happening to release yourself from that veil, to release that veil, to unblind yourself from the inverted matrices that sometimes twin flame knowledge could be, or you know, again, the obsession with it. Okay. All right, beautiful. What an honor. So a couple announcements. I am, as you know, Rising Phoenix Aura. I am a spiritual revolutionist. I am also an author, a galactic historian. I have 2 books out. I'm in the middle of working on a third. This is the history of the universe and multiverse, which explains people's memories of the dimensions, anywhere they've been at as far as other lives, whether it's future lives or past lives. So because time is non-existent, so you could tap into all of it quantumly. And also a lot of my channeled information as I channel Divine Mother and any benevolent being. And as always, only source, love, light is allowed within a space. Only benevolence is allowed to be communicating today through everything I do. That is all that's allowed. Thank you for being here. I also host retreats. I host A.U.R.A, hypnosis, entity removal, past life regression, as well as raw Reiki session courses. And I host these live. My next live online workshop is going to be in May 12, 13, because May 12, or 9. I'm trying to remember. So many courses we have going on. But yes, it's in May. And then otherwise, join me. We have 2 more retreats where you come seize the opportunity to start walking your most organic timelines and how to unintegrate the AI and the matrix and all that, how to become your own birther and also become your own healer. And then do this for your loved ones as well, your family, your children, friends, and so on. So you can do that in May. Otherwise, come to our retreat. Our next retreat is in June 9, 6-9 portal. We're going to be in California, Sequoia Yosemite Park. You know, it's on your bucket list. What are you waiting for? Come join us. And then why not come learn how to be your most organic self. Testimonials are there. Check them out, reviews and so on. So, and then the next one after that is going to be in Ireland, Lionsgate 8-9 portal for the new people who are just now certifying If it's been calling for you, this is the time. Let's go. This is the year of the serpent. We are unshedding and we are going to grow and expand. That we are. Okay, and then something really fun I just want to mention briefly, and then we're going to get started with the video, is that I am very excited about this. I've always been a photographer, and I remember in high school, I would go on field trips with my teacher who was, been doing photography for like 50 years, right? And she would be astonished at the fact that how could I get the shots that I got while we were in the same, say, boat trip or whatever, and she didn't see it. So I was even offered to go to a university to go, but I didn't do that for photography. Anyways, so I want to show you, so I'm going to be selling some of the pictures that you guys have been watching in the video, so this is exciting. So what's really beautiful, just like I sell the jewelry, is that I'm channeling these points here. So I just started it, so there's only a couple up right now. And check it out. Later on, I'm going to be telling you about this one here, the Inner Earth Guardians, because there's light beings here. I'll show you more closer up on that. But I just wanted to show you really, really quick. I'll be working on this all weekend. I'll send out the email, sign up to my newsletter under my website, risingphoenixaurora.com. So it's really amazing. Like, for example, this is the view to the birthing cave, which is located in Sedona. Now, I mean, the prices are really, really good. They're like a fraction of a price that you would pay, I don't know, like any other company, Shutterfly or so on. Okay, so there's the image. But what's really, really amazing is that as I'm making these prints available for you and these high quality canvases, they're also speaking to me. So I want to share this with you. This is what this image says. The birthing cave is located in Sedona, Arizona. The hike both and from is transcending. You will enter a vortex energy where time does not exist, allowing you to tap into future timelines that were unreachable in the now. This picture was taken from inside her womb cave, from the perspective of what Divine Mother looks upon all day long, which tells us that these mountains in front of her are not mountains, instead giant trees of life that are now giant structures of petrified wood. How beautiful is this image to see from the point of view of Divine Mother's cave, where all souls birth into our construct. To see from her creational unveiled eyes. Isn't that beautiful? Wow, I don't know about you guys, but that's activating. Turns out this one, the person who was with me, who I was like, can you take a picture of this for me? I was driving. This one was a purple giant flowering tree. You see that? So then you're going to read this a story. So it turns out that when you're looking at these images, you're tapping into the vortex energy of it, and it's shielded, so you can't use it invertedly. So what happens is that turns out that this, like this tree actually was a giant purple flowering tree. And I wrote the channeled message again of it, which means that we are multiversal, right? Even twin flames, they're multiversal. That's how it happens. So if this is a purple flowering tree that is now petrified trunk, right? That means that this vortex energy here, and this is on your way to Monument Valley, so Arizona, and taps you into the purple lotus flower tree multiverse. You understand the verse of you, so that the purple verse to you that could be there in that time space, just like we teach in book 2 how we are within a lotus flower of multitude of verses, and we are the blue lotus flower. Why blue is so protective, like the laser in Maui and what happened there, and nothing would burn down that was blue. Okay, so yeah, have fun with that. I only have a couple up. I'll keep working on the weekend. Hope you guys enjoy that. What an honor, what an honor. It's just gorgeous. Look at her view. I just love looking at these. Look at her view. That's from the birthing cave, okay? All right, so these will be all pictures that basically I took, or the person who was assisting me took. Thank you for letting me show you that. It is so incredible. Okay. So let's get started. All right, so first I have to say that this is viewer discretion. We're going to be talking about some of the sexual things, so you don't want to have any children listening. So So make sure that you listen later if you have children around, or put on some headphones right now, okay, before I go into it. So we're going to go right into it. So I talked briefly about twin flames and how they're born from one another quantumly. When the soul unites, the magnetic fields that were once separated, like the toroidals, are now magnified together, which means that they become a Vesica Pisces. Okay, you understand? So in case you are new to us, I know, be patient with us for those of you who are already know this, but in case you're new to us, I am going to show you what is a Vesica Pisces in case you don't know what that is. So Vesica Pisces are two circles, basically two spheres unified at the center, create a seed. Okay, so what we could do is, okay, so let's, before I show you that, there's magnetic fields. Everybody has a magnetic field, and it looks like a torus, which you will see in science. Toroid sphere, this is also how time travel works in a wave-like, but then also spheric formation, okay? So this is a toroid sphere, right? So you understand that? Okay, so then from there, it's a donut, right? Okay. Then we're going to see Vesica Pisces. This is the one I have here. Now they represent, the Vesica Pisces represents so many things like dimensions, you know, but really at the wholeness, they represent the seed of creation, which is the seed of every single flower of life, no matter what petal it is, flower of life, okay? And let's look at this, not in this dimension form, but mother and father. So we got Divine Mother and Divine Father on one side, and they're at the center of the seed. The seed is the literal seed right here. This shape here is the seed. Okay, so if you can visualize two toroid spheres, the image I showed you, now each toroid sphere is united. At that point, they're magnetized together. Now, together in the ether, you're always magnetized together, no matter how separate you feel, because you do feel so separate because you're in the material, in the basically physical form here, which is a matrix, as we know. It's an illusion, but you're supposed to graduate out from the illusion. Okay, so you understand. So what happens is that we are born. Typically, the majority of humanity is going to have a twin flame. You're going to have a twin flame. You're going to be born with them, because it is very hard when twin flames are born without them into the third dimensional construct. Now, you go through this process of like relationships, and it's like, you know, there's you could have multiple twin flames too, especially if maybe your soul is of a bigger ascended master or archangel or just being. As going into galactic history, like alien races, galactic history are the different incarnations that you've had in the different star systems, the different planets. Okay, so you come here to Earth, and all that experience you gained in all those stars and planets, you come here to this plane, to this third dimensional plane construct, and then you are able to retain both the memory of wherever you've been at, but then also your higher self memory, which is limitless and boundless. It is like a flower of life. You are a flower of life that goes on and on and on. Like, show you visualization here. Okay, so let's. So you are as this flower. We'll use the 12 petal lotus flower like this. So you can say, you can visualize and understand really the way it works is that they're showing me an alchemy, Divine Mother showing me an alchemy, where the tree of life is this here at the center. Your tree of life sits at the center of this Divine Mother flower of life. Now this 12 petal, and then there's other flower lives, right? There's like 16, 17 petals, but we'll use this one in this perspective. So this connects to the 12 sacred dolls, 13 sacred dolls of the universe, and everything we talk about in book 1 and our material. Okay, the universal laws that people are not supposed to overstep boundaries and entities, but they try to overstep them if you allow them to overstep, which they trick you into it, don't they? So see that? So then there's a tree. Your tree sits at the flower of life. It grows out. You just visualize a tree grown out of here, and this is third dimensional. So these circles are more like spheric. Okay, so you can visualize your different fractals. The way it works is that you and your twin flame do sit at the center of this flower of life. okay, which are trees of life together unified. You do not both have two separate trees of life. Your trees of life are one and the same in the ether and in the all that is in the universe and multiverse, okay? In source, that's where your tree is life is at. Then you see all these different points and all these different petals and circles and spheres that come out from this flower. Those are all your different incarnations. All these petals basically can communicate to you and talk to you. I have a guided meditation on how to connect to use multiversal lotus flower. We'll add the link later. Okay, you understand? So then all these other fractals are all the U's. Now here you are in this construct as a okay, let's go to how does this existence. We just hosted a course on the Isis Priestess course, which open enrollment is in May. Get ready, guys, next month to open up to sign up for that under Patreon. The Isis Priestess and Priest, that's in the sacred way, not in the inverted way, how we used to be priestess and priest. So Divine Mother Isis, overall the Divine Mothers teach us. So we are in a toroidal. We're also even just to be here, we're in these pods, matrix pods. Go to Patreon to sign up to the extra exclusive course to get more information about this, the tier there. So just like I explained to you how we're all a toroidal, so is our construct a toroidal in the third dimension. And these waters here, is like you can visualize they're like waters and they go on and on and on. This is what I'm writing my content, my next book about, just a little teaser, okay? All right, understand? Okay, you've been able to retain all that. Let me see what questions you guys might have. Again, Gina's in chat. If you have any questions, I can take them now on everything I've said so far. So now that we understand like the foundation to twin flames and how they work, you can visualize like even when you're looking at a fire, you're burning a fire, you notice that the flame is not one flame. There's no way. The flame multiplies, and you will even watch flames multiply from one another, dancing around together. So that is, you're looking at creation. Know that when you're looking at a fire, whether it's a campfire or a fireplace, you're looking at source and the embodiment of source. All those little flames are the multiversal essences of the beings in creation. You're looking at the construct of creation in the flame, because source is the flame. That's why you see Mother Mary, Yeshua, always with their flame. They're trying to tell us, you are the flame, we're a flame. Okay? Yeah, I love our artist too. She's an aura practitioner. She made our covers too for our books. Okay, in my next book, I'm really excited. I have a lot of illustrations. That's gonna be fun, color illustrations for you guys to look at. Okay, so let me see if you have questions so far. Okay, someone's asking, how do our tortoise fields connect if we are not physically next to each other? Okay, so if you are not physically next to each other, etherically in the ether, in source, you are always sacredly bonded and unified. Okay, so that's where it's always connected, you and your twin flame, and your tree of life is one. You understand this? You are one seed, double seeds, you know, like a seed that is one and the same, like two seeds like this. Okay, all right, so I don't see any other questions. I'll keep talking here. All right, okay, so we're gonna go into it now. Again, this is gonna get a little explicit, so don't have children watching, okay? Okay, so I'm going to go with something has a really gigantic shifted on Earth. You all saw, there's an alchemy symbol, literal alchemy symbol, right? That was in England. I mean, and all the haters and the people who are too much of a sheeple and controlled by the system they could have been one of those Tartarian when they did the last reset that we talk about, right, in our Tartaria series. I mean, these people who are so dense that they don't get it, they could be the ones that they cloned and, you know, put them out there with the non-clone children, orphans, because they had to repopulate here, didn't they? They had to repopulate Americas because something happened to the people here. You want to watch The Last American, part 1 and part 2 to figure that out, okay? Because we're on that series right now. Okay, but let's look at this video here. This video is telling us And then it's in England. Gina, can you look up where in England, I would like to know, did this occur? Is there a specific spot? I guess it would have been really big, so maybe there might not be an exact spot. But let's look at this. And they're gonna try to say, like, you know, they're gonna try to give it like this false scientific name, like, oh, this is something that happens. It's like a, you know, phenomenon. We're not that gullible anymore. Okay, humanity has awoken. So you see that? So this is a fast forward video though, wherever this is at. So this happened actually March 24, 25, interesting enough. So we're looking at March, which is basically we're entering a new year. The Mayans also really started like in like late March. April was really the new year, not the other one way around. So and then we also have the spring equinox that happened, and I mean, yeah, some incredible things were happening, definitely. So let's look at that. See that? Okay, let's look at that again. There it's slowed. Oh, thank you for slowing it down. Okay. And then I have pictures too, but look at that. Okay, so what this represents is basically two spirals. We also see it like in the yin and the yang. We also see it in the, what astrology symbol is that one with the 6 9? Is that Cancer? Okay. Gina, when I'm asking you questions, just text them to me. It's easier for me to get the answers if you text me. Okay, so when I asked where part of England, if you can, if not, I mean, it was pretty large. And then I forgot what other questions I was asking. Okay, so yeah, oh, the Cancer, I'm pretty sure it is. Text me, confirm me, confirm. So it was in West Sussex, UK. Okay. All right, so what this symbol represents is actually the two opposite polarizations or the two magnetic fields of mother and father. Okay, see that? So we're in also, I mean, we see this form in galaxies. So in order for a galaxy, basically anything that's organic, we're also seeing like a Fibonacci spiral here, and then the opposite. So you're seeing a divine feminine and a divine masculine through this symbol. Okay. That's what's happening. So, which tells you, what does that tell us and everything that I have shared you all so far? That means that the potential is here for the say curses, the dark spells, or basically the dark intent to keep divine twin flames union apart from each other has been broken. That it has. So that is Divine Mother and Father telling you here that it's done. Now it's your turn to manifest it and create it. What have you done to create it? So let me find you some pictures too, some really cool pictures that people shared, different platforms. Let's look at a couple here. Okay. Thank you to everyone who took pictures and recorded. So we see a force field, and you could actually see the tornado, can't you? See the double. This is a double Taurus. See that? That's the opening here, right here. So this is a vortex here, and there is a polarization, magnetic field coming out of this one and this one, okay? Which turns into this shape. I mean, you see this also shape a lot in like Asian culture too. Amazing, huh? Ah, so cool. And then there seems to be some kind of energy. They're also going to try to say like, oh, you know, again, haters, trolls, don't even bother. I'm too sovereign. Don't even waste your time here. It'll be yours to transmute. I'm too sovereign. Keep your entity to yourself. So they're going to try to say like, oh yeah, this is like a one of those projections. Yeah, no, this is not a projection. The video I just showed you, that was not a projection. That was like something embodied into the field of the sky, in the night sky, a manifested form. That's pretty cool. The way you see it here, spiraling out. So this is a portal. This is a portal here. And the portal from source is bringing in the symbol now. I wonder what kind of crop circles have appeared, guys. Let me know. Have any crop circles like this have appeared during this time? That'd be interesting to know, or right before or after. Okay. What's the next? Yeah. It's pretty amazing. Oh, look at the stars, so pretty. Yeah. Okay. All right. So then going to the a couple stories for you to share on some of the clients that have come to me in I don't know, last month and a half, or just basically this year. Okay. So this one gets a little creepy, but I mean, it happens, so I'll share it with you guys. Okay, so I have a client who booked a raw Reiki session. It's interesting to see this person because when they were on Zoom call with me here, they're like withering back and forth, like going back and forth between a being that understands it and knows it, but then a being that is also trapped under a spell, a dark spell. Okay. And it's also, we're going to be talking about the false twin flame, the illusionist twin flame. And the roughest, you all, is you would think that it would be like the 3D, that might be rough, but actually no. The roughest, toughest false twin flame that you could play into or fall into their trap is the awakened false twin flame. If you could classify them as awakened, but they understand spirituality, voodoo, dark magic, and that gets tricky because they know what they're doing. Versus a person who is asleep and is the false twin flame, they probably don't quite know what they're doing, but they do know that something is possessing them in some form. I mean, something's telling them like dark thoughts and dark emotions that are channeling through them, which could be most likely tends to be a version of them from Atlantis that fell, that is, let's say, the dark sorcerer pulling the strings here, and they're just a puppeteer from back then when we were powerful in the 5th dimension before we digress down into the 3rd dimension. So that's the major one. I say like at least over 90% of people who come to me who are freeing themselves from these curses that they are awakening to, usually it's from that person, whoever it is, whether it's a twin flame or a mother, whether it's a whatever, uncle, cousin, typically has a dark them that went dark with the AI virus, and they're a dark sorcerer in Atlantis that know how to pierce through, know that there's no time space in their time space, and they connect to other negative fractals to make hell for you and mess with you, because that is the way that they stay powerful. They don't want to lose their power because they're tripped up on ego, right? Okay, so to this male's example, so he's back and forth, and like he wants to free himself, but he doesn't want to, but he wants to free himself, but he doesn't want to, and I'm back and forth with him, holding the space that he can do it. So he starts off with, interesting enough, yeah, so he has a friend who listens to me and who had sessions. So that's how, one of the ways he heard of me, but then he also heard of me through the false twin flame too. And he says that he's been in a relationship, but he's been trying to leave this relationship. And I think it might have been like a year since he pretty much left the relationship, because this woman that claimed was his twin flame that he's been infatuated with decided to cheat on him with this lover who is actually under a spell as well. Okay, all right, so he's free from her for a year, but she's able to find him where he's at. So she's definitely working with some basically grays, but then also something very dark, which she'd be working. She would be a skinwalker. She is, and she would be a skinwalker. Not sure if she is so much now. So dark witch, and so she could actually locate him again. Oh, also it's a theme. The biggest theme is people like plant medicine, and they use plant medicine, mushrooms and all these other supposedly holistic drugs to meet people, and then these people are all like having energetic orgies really with one another, and most people don't even realize that's happening because you're opening up your fields, and that is happening as you are there, and their entities are parasitically siphoning your energy, or some people are even, some of these entities are even having sex with you. So that is how he met this woman. The minute he views eyes upon her, instantly you're kind of attracted, not like him, he says, just kind of soul tied to her. He doesn't realize it at first. He thinks that it's just a kind of like a normal relationship, but that as they're into the relationship, I think it was about 4 years. Yeah, he was breaking the curse at 4 years. Happy portal date 4/4 today. What does today add up to? 4/4 plus 8 plus 9. Well, 8 plus 9 equals 17, 8. Ooh, nice numbers. So we have infinite protection here as we're speaking about this on the false guru twin flames. Okay, so then from there, turns out, he tells me, is that he really started figuring it out, that there was something kind of dark happening with this lady is after she had run off with her lover that she's constantly having sex with, according to him. And then basically he ends up he goes to a lake, and she didn't know about this lake, she didn't know about the spot. She's a skinwalker, she's a dark sorcerer, she's a witch. So he ends up camping. He camps at this lake, and what happens is that he's going to sleep at night, and all he could hear across the lake is a couple having sex over and over, and he's being tormented by hearing this, because at some point he realizes that this woman's voice sounds very familiar. Yes, guys, these are real stories, real stuff that happens to people, and you guessed it, turns out eventually, by the time his camping trip is done, that it was her false twin flame across the lake having sex with the lover that she has under her spell, and moaning, all that kind of stuff. Gross. So that's happening for 5 days. He's like tormented in this instance every single night. He figures it out, because what happens is that she has like these minions with her, like these lustful minions, because this is what these plant medicine group does, is that they have orgies. They legit have orgies with each other, and then they're all under her spell. Okay, so one of these minions goes to him and finds him, because she has his location. By the way, I asked if she had her phone, access to her phone. Nothing. He's like, no, I mean, our stuff is separate. I have my own phone bill, so does she, so on, right? And this minion of hers goes up to him and tells him that they just did a blood ritual, satanic blood ritual spell on him to get him back to her. And he's a prized possession to her because he has a strong essence of Divine Father. So she wants to control him, but it has to be, he has to accept it. So she could like lust him, lure him, but he has to come to her and give consent. So she will continue to entice him until he gives in. You understand? She cannot overstep his kind of boundaries because he's broken up with her, but he's her prized possession because he's kind of like the one that got away, and while she has all these other men and even women under her lustful spell. Okay, So then from there, this minion finds him and tells him what's been going on, and then confirms that she's been on across the lake having whatever with this guy, and that they just finished having a orgy. And it's a blood ritual, kind of some dark spell. I don't know about the specific dark spells. I just know that we break them. We know how to break them basically with the higher self. So what happens from there is that so what's next? So then so he tells them that just happened, this minion, and he says there's something really wrong with this man. He's like there but not there. He says like he's empty, like his eyes are empty, like it's not really him, right? He's basically spirit possessed by this thing. And then he said, and something else that happened on this trip to this lake where I was, trying to connect to nature. He says, I went to downtown to buy some things. All of a sudden, this young lady comes to me. I don't think it was not a young lady, like a teenager. I think it was, like a young female, adolescent, or not adolescent. Well, I hope it wasn't adolescent. Young woman is what he said. So young woman, and she kind of looks like her, but not. All of a sudden, he ends up in his car having sex with her. And he says, this is not something I do. He's like, I don't do this. And he says, while I'm having sex with her, I could feel the ex, the skinwalker. He said, I could feel her touch, her breath. I could feel her essence through this young woman, female. And so then I'm basically confirming everything for him and letting him know what it is, because he's just telling me everything that's been happening to him, and he's trying to make sense. He feels that it's wrong and something's off, but he can't figure it out quite. And we're experts at this kind of stuff at this point. Over 4,000 people, I've assisted personally, not alone any of the Aura practitioners that you could go under aurapractitioners.com to find. So then that happens. Okay, so he says, it's like basically he's having sex with this strange woman, this like, well, not strange woman, but what is the word? He doesn't know her. This random woman, and then, but it's really the false twin flame having sex through her. And it's part of the plan. Basically, what she did is she took over. She's a skinwalker, so she could take over a female that she could penetrate their field. They could do that. They jump into people's consciousnesses. We teach about skinwalkers in the Aura or hypnosis entity removal modality. So, if you're not shielded, basically with source of light and not consenting, they do jump in and out of people's consciousness, these entities do. And this is a very powerful dark witch. So back to though, is that this dark sorcerer lady tells him from the minion, so that what he had, sex with this random lady, that happened in between. We're at the end again, where the minion's giving him the messages that she's inviting him to come, like come have fun with them. They just finished having, he said, an orgy in front of the whole campsite. That's what this minion told, that they just finished doing that, by the way. And I was like, wait a minute, isn't there families and stuff? Anyways, so, and then she tells this dark sorcerer, is aware of what I do, and she tells him if he's to come to me that he's not to pay me any mind. Anyways, he does schedule a session and comes to me. So he's going through, like, it's crazy, you all, like what people go through. It's just crazy to watch them like wake up and unveil, like one layer after every time we're like having a session. The unveils, the snake skins or the veils are unveiling from them. It's like falling apart, and I see like light in them, like grow. Their eyes become clearer, not as fuzzy. It's just incredible space, basically, that I'm holding of love. And then all you have to do is hold love for people and not mean ill intent, and not be in inverted self gain. hold the space for them, and they figure things out. And that's what I watch them figure out. Okay, so then that happens, and then from there, one of the spells that she put on him was that she's calling for him and he's to come. Now it's powerful spells, guys. Like, and he was pretty strong not to succumb to it and still kind of fight it off. Another man that might have been weaker would have been there already, or like those other minions that she had under her control. Those people fell for the spell. So it's very simple, very simple. And then this lady also has a daughter, little girl, and we know what they're doing there to this little girl through these satanic rituals. We know that there's sexual abuse. That's what they do. They're having orgies like that. With, where's this little girl at? Anyways, so this is here to save the children, as always. So I tell him, okay, so what would you like to do? We're going to do this session. You're going to talk to your higher self. You're going to clear what's within you. And this was a raw Reiki session. What do you want to do? I said, my time is very, very, very important for me to use it wisely with you. So decide. It's very simple. Are you going to be a pedo, or are you not going to be a pedo? Because looking at your Akashic records here, you're not a pedo. So decide. And then he's like, I think I'll take that as a compliment. And then he decides he's not going to be a pedo. Okay, so then we do the raw Reiki session. We actually clear the curse. He wakes up and he's like a different man, completely different. I hope that he didn't go back and recurse himself, because that can happen. Hopefully he stayed in his heart, but during our session, he was basically, the higher self did remove the curse from him. And he was free, and he was so thankful. And he's like, first thing that came out of his mouth was like, I can feel it. I know the curse has been removed. He said, thank you. He's like, it's just like looking around, like you're disoriented after you've been removed from a spell like that. You're like trying to figure out the world again, seeing from eyes that are no longer controlled by a false twin flame. Okay, what questions do you guys have there? Yeah, that's a story. I mean, and there was more, guys. There was more sessions that came like that. So then I said, so it's like, so I asked my angels, it's like, wait a minute. So why would this lady like kind of like know about me and then, like tell him not to pay me any mind? Then I realized that, so too, just like we assist entities, in some form, that lady still has a soul in her that's possessed by a dark witch, which means that if this lady's been jumping from body to body, there's an original soul in that body that is calling out for help. You understand? So the entities themselves are asking for assistance. So let me see if you guys have any questions on what I just said. I know it was insane. Okay. So let's answer some of your questions. There's a lot about, is succubus the same as skinwalker? Yes, a succubus typically will be a skinwalker. But there could be just a succubus that doesn't jump from body to body. It could just be a succubus entity that doesn't do that, but just basically siphons off people's creational energy. Let me see if there's any questions directly on the story I just shared. Okay, so it looks like most of them are about twin flames. So I'm going to share one more story with you. I was working with a young man that went through a series of bad luck, you would say. I mean, multiple, say, car accidents, possess, again, was working, like in a working environment. And one day, one of the females in his work environment basically handed him a cookies or something to eat. That's where they get you. So it turns out that what was in that meal was a love spell, and it was a dark one. And this young lady went to, it seems like a form of Santeria. It went to like this young man paid a Santeria, voodoo kind of witch man to kill some chickens and stuff. And they always make it seem like killing chickens or whatever, pigs or whatever they're killing. It's like, oh, it's just a, it's just killing chicken. Hold on. The animals are the purest souls on earth besides children. So you think because you think it's an animal that you can kind of give yourself an excuse that you can perform blood rituals on animals? No, you're using the purity of that soul and that horrific harm to them to basically, it's a life, and it's an exchange of life, life force energy that they're using. So the young man ate the spell, went through this series of bad luck. Guess what? Just broke the curse this year, guys. Over and over, I'm seeing this, guys. Woke up really like woke up eventually though, like did only last, I don't know, like a year with this person, but then kept having series of bad luck. And it's because this voodoo Santeria man was powerful, ancient. And this voodoo man, basically anyone who comes to him, he uses their energy, whoever came to him, who are consenting for him to do dark spells on whoever they're trying to do dark spells on. He has their energy tied to him, tethered to him, and he also has whoever the victim he's affecting tied to him, which he accumulates all these dark spells, sorcery, and other people's energies to make him that powerful, you understand? And that's what makes him powerful, because he's weak. He's weak by himself. And he knows that the only way he can make himself powerful is by attaching to other people who consent. And this person could have taken a piece of hair from the person they're trying to spell. They would have to have some kind of object from them. Maybe whatever, something that they bit and didn't finish. They take it, they don't even realize. So then at that point, when they have your energy through the whatever's carrying your gene, it's basically your DNA. They're spelling you down to your DNA quantumly. Now, do I believe in this stuff? I believe they don't have power. They don't have power. So long as you don't give it to them. But I do believe that it happens because I have all these clients that come to me that are releasing themselves from it, right? Okay, it's basically energy. They're using negative polarization energy invertedly. The power of that, and everything is energy. Okay, so that is broken. And then, there's more and more stories I keep sharing with you guys, but those are really, really good ones, just to help you understand that the spells are breaking. But let's take some of your questions now on twin flames. Okay. So we talked about that, yeah. Now, to the New World Order, the Dark Aliens, and the Elite, to them, everything to them is a spell. Tricking you into hating someone is a spell. If you hate someone, you are feeding their spell, whoever they're trying to hate. Okay? So we'll continue to talk about spells and so on and how they work. And let me talk about it now, actually, they said. I'll talk about this now and then take your twin flame questions. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so for example, how they, there is, what's it called? Trump dysphoria, hateful dysphoria, or repel, okay? Yeah, so that, like, how people hate him. They're pretty nasty on how they hate him. Okay, so let me explain to you. That's basically a spell. So you give that hate over, you are then consenting to be part of powering up that dark spell towards the person. Now it's not working. It's not working because the collective is sending more love versus hate, believe it or not. So let me show you here. There's Rachel, her name is Rachel Zegler. Okay, so she was part of she was the actress to Snow White. And it goes pretty deep. One of the biggest things she says here is, again, how much she hates Trump. She says that, where is it? She talks about like her daughter. She's 23, doesn't even have a daughter. So you see that how they use like these celebrities to basically they become the harness of this dark hate that becomes a dark spell that becomes a curse. Okay, so this is the year we break them because the serpent is all about, they've been using the serpent, the snakes, invertedly too, to create curses. A lot of these voodoos and santarias, they use snakes, and they know that the snakes are one of the most powerful animals that they can really use their dark spells within to make them powerful. But I forgot where it says here. Yeah, she's, telling them, F themselves and stuff like that. And then she also says that she hopes that everyone who basically loves Trump, his supporters, do not ever have peace. That in itself is a dark spell. And I don't know where it's at here. You could look into it. Okay, it's even like Selena Gomez crying. I really don't think that's her anymore. I really do think it's a clone. Looking at her pictures from a year ago, her body is way different than it is now, and not like in a losing weight way, because it's like a different person, completely, that has been cloned. So people fall for it, then that spell is created, that curse. Okay, then that's what holds us back. All right. Am I making, yeah, I'm making very good sense here. Let me know if you understand everything I'm talking about today. Okay, so I also do recommend that you do the Egyptian course. Now, I have the most expansive Egyptian course you will ever find, you all. So much so that each course is 3 to 4 hours, and we are in part 6, interesting enough. So if you go to my website and purchase the Egyptian course, part 6, we'll add the link. There is a sacred alchemy symbol that has to do with flowers, universal, multiversal flowers. So it's a Divine Mother alchemy symbol that she gave to us. And she told us that you use this symbol to break the curse. Interesting enough, we received the sacred alchemy symbol by Divine Mother when the curses were being broken. All these people are coming to me. It's just crazy, guys. You can't make this stuff up. So yeah, that's that. So let me take your questions. So someone's asking, how do our Tourette spheres connect if we are not physically aware? I already answered that one. Okay. Succubus, Skinwalker, I answered that one. Next one is, what's the difference between a soulmate and a twin flame? So soulmates are beings that were born from the same star group or soul family from the star group. Or, I mean, you kind of like basically see everyone in your life as a soulmate, whether it's romantic or not, they're a soulmate because they're part of the kind of like the soul group that has incarnated together. You understand? So most often though, people have soulmates that are there to teach them lessons, and basically they prepare you. When you look at it in a positive way, it's probably pretty hard because you're gonna go through some major karma there with them that you haven't balanced out in past lives. It's gonna get chaotic. So when you break these, yeah. So what was I talking about? Those difference. Yeah. So they are not your actual twin flame. Basically, they're there to help you learn the lessons you need to, and ultimately the goal is to balance out the karma that you had with them in past lives when they were your ex-husband, ex-boyfriend, or whoever they played, that you still are karmically connected. Okay, so sometimes you do have to go through that. It's toughest, guys. Like the toughest, I think, choice you could ever make is to marry the wrong person, to marry a narcissistic. Even talking to people who are just waking up from narcissistic relationships, when you look back at it, think about it for a minute, you all. If you are in a breakup or were in, going through the process or it's happened, whenever it happened, when you look back at yourself, don't you question yourself and you ask yourself, how did I not see how narcissistic and evil or dark this person was? I don't understand. How could I have been so gullible? What? And you see it so clearly now. It's because you're under a spell by them. When you consent, have especially sex, this is a form of consenting to them, and now you're tethered and tied to them, and they will use you having sex with them as a spell too. So, I mean, what else can explain you being infatuated with someone? So false love, when they were so dark and inverted, and now you see your true form after you broke up with them. They're like, show their true colors, or even while you were with them, because you were under a spell. So go assist that other you there. Come to the Egyptian course part 6. The way the courses are is that you could do them individually, but they're pretty incredible if you do them in order. Come release yourself from that curse, that spell. Yeah, because it's in a layer. It's not something, it's an unlayering. Unlayering is not something that sometimes can happen instantly for you. It's a divorce, a separation from them. Yeah, so then that's the difference. Twin flame is your actual twin flame, like I explained at the beginning of this video, like your other half, the one that completes you, that is your, so here I am feminine, and then I have a divine masculine, that's my twin flame. If it's a divine masculine, he has a female twin flame, you understand? So twin flames are, one is going to be the divine feminine, one is going to be divine masculine. That's just the way it works. The divine masculine is in you. You're never separated from them. Did you know that the divine masculine in you is your twin flame? That's what that part of you, you know, is them inside of you. That flame is never separated. Here inside your heart is the flame of your twin flame. The two flames together, they're in there. Okay. Next one is, or what's your sun sign? I have no idea. Next one is, and not that I would share it. So are all fractals of our oversoul's twin flames that are incarnated here now. So are all fractals of our oversoul's twin flame that are incarnated here now, potential twin flames of us. Yeah, you will see that. You could see potential twin flames. I mean, you could go to, you know, walk the streets every day and you might see a potential twin flame. But I mean, you will have multiples. Maybe that person you're walking down the street, you're just basically meant to exchange like codes to wake you up and wake them up. Maybe you're meant to just date them briefly to wake yourself up as well. Until you get the actual twin flame that is a vibratory match to your full, complete, and the magnetic field. And the way it works is, which is your twin flame? So visualize, we teach us alchemy symbol in the twin flame course, which is, and then also the Mother Mary course, sacred birthing. Twin flame mandala. It's a mandala, okay? And what happens is that you could understand that by like, okay, the oversoul is at the center, like that flower of life image that I showed you. And then all those, right, like petals could be all the multiple, all those, the flower of life I showed you at the beginning, all those petals in the flower are the other fractals of you. You understand? But your actual twin flame is the only one that was split out from your flame, just like when you look at a fire. You understand? Split from the fire. So next to the petal of the flower, there could be another twin flame, but they're all born and fractalized from the same, say, higher self oversoul. But your actual twin flame is the one that split from your flame. And they could be like multiple flames, watching multiple flames in a fire. You understand? Okay, so that's how you tell the difference. Yeah. And then, is the rapture coming this year, and will you die this year if no reach union with my twin flame? I don't know where you heard that. No. That's false. God, I hope that's not like a spiritual person saying that. Oh, run. If that's a spiritual person, they are possessed by something demonic. Okay, so no to that. Okay, next one. You will meet your twin flame in your divine timing when you are ready and they are ready. If you meet a twin flame too early on, you could end up divorcing them because you cannot take that karmic balance and chaos that you really have to go through to balance out, again, how many past lives you didn't make it through to make it in the now. When you meet your twin flame, know that you will have to go through each and every past life pretty much and balance it out. And that's why we teach past life regression work, because let's jump there. Let's figure out those tools on how to get there quantumly in time space to help each other out. Okay, the past life regression work, right? Aura. All right, so let's see. So you can really cut your time short, or you could be like in this cycle where bad luck after bad luck and stuff just keeps happening. You know, break those curses, break those, balance out that karma with them, and really just kind of understanding everything is energy. What is happening right now is balancing something out from another time and space, perhaps. So you're working on all. When you get together with Twin Flame, you will be working on all the past lives that didn't work out in the now, because we're in the final showdown. We're on the final, say, earthly incarnation. So we work it here, but we have to go to the past. All keys lie in the past to balance out, and then we grow here in the now. And the more you work on all these different timelines with your Twin Flame, the closer together you will grow, stronger together, to not fall for any of the falseness of what happens when twin flames get together. Also keep in mind that when you get together with twin flame, everyone and their mother is going to be trying to split you up, because that's the dark agenda, archon, artificial intelligence thing, right? So they will try to entice you, they will try to seduce you, especially if a mother is pregnant. You as a male, they're going to try to make you cheat on your wife when she's pregnant, unfortunately. Because one, they don't want a high vibrational baby, which is so sad. They want to infringe on the mother. A lot of mothers lose their babies because, you know, the male wasn't able to hold the space for them and stay with them, and maybe they cheated on them and stuff. So whoever is not of love light, say you have a bad mother-in-law, is going to be constantly sending thought form spells over its energy over to this couple, because they don't legit want them together. They're like, oh, we love you, but they don't want you together. So do they have pure love for you and your spouse and your children? And you could find that in your heart. You know the answer. You know the answer. When they say they love you, is it really love, or is it empty? More of a like, I want to possess you. You know, use your energy for my diabolical plans. Okay. So what does it mean if someone feels so familiar when you see them? Is this a twin flame? Could it also be the false twin flame spell? I think my higher self told me something about it in February. Okay, so I mean, you would have to probably have a reading for me to tell you exactly to that, but it could be both. Someone could feel very familiar because, I mean, they don't need to be a twin flame or soulmate. They could just have been a kinship, a friendship in past lives. Or maybe you are friends in the 8th dimension. You know, you just don't know where you're friends with them. That could be it. But if it's a twin flame or soulmate, when people look at each other in their eyes, you're looking at the seat of the soul, because the tunnel of the soul, the vortex of the eyes, the pupil go in, and then you're looking into the galaxy of who they are, like the cosmos of who they are. And that's why the eyes can recognize each other. You understand? So the souls are recognizing one another when they connect like that. Okay, so this could be many things to your question, but yeah. But know that the eyes, that's how it happens quantumly with the eyes, soul to soul. Okay, so the next one is, so is a false twin flame spell using the real twin flame sororitas field to get you with the wrong person thinking they are your true twin flame? Now they wouldn't, I mean, unless they know your twin flame, which they probably most likely don't. So if there is a false twin flame, they know what they're doing. They can't really access, well, they could technically, maybe they can. So they could technically access the tree of life and the turret sphere through your tree of life of your twin flame. Yes. Okay. The answer could be yes here. And okay, so we got to think about how these dark people think. Okay. So then they could tap into your turret sphere, your tree of life, because it's found in you. And if you're having especially sex with them, they can connect to your tree of life, which then would be theirs. Yeah, they can do that. So then they could be, they're a chameleon. That's another thing that they would be. They would be a chameleon, and they would be mimicking your twin flame and things that you like about your twin flame, or you know in the future you're going to meet them, or things that found attractive towards you, to act as the false twin flame. Yeah. Good questions, guys. Okay, when should we communicate the concept of twin flames to our children? I mean, whenever you feel like that you feel like they're ready for it, you know, you're born from each other's souls and each other's flames, and you know, you probably want to talk to them about that false dark spell that we've been working on. Disney releasing that spell in the collective. We had an aura on that. So they also use these movies to dark spell. Guys, we're gonna be talking about this forever. You know, like the prince and the princess, and you know, that false story there, and the mother always dies. And there's this dark spell, especially with Disney and any of these movies where the mother always dies, where they're killing off the mother basically to distance the mother from the child. And where then they're distancing divine mother from us. Because we're, you know, it's always the mother. So, yeah. So feel it out however you feel that they are ready to hear, so that they can understand. Typically, you will have one twin flame, one actual one. That will be the one. But you'll have relationships that will teach you lessons to prepare you for that one. So can we assist the plants so that they won't be used invertedly? Yeah, the plants. Oh yeah, like through the plant medicine that people do. Oh yeah, that's so sad, because to think about it, like we're being given plant medicine really to heal ourselves, you know, like even like I was talking to Gina in chat, and she was telling me about this young man who was oregano, right? It's like a plant. It's a plant. Oregano, it's an herb. And how a young man was testing out under the lab under a microscope, if you put drops of antibiotics that don't really work into a petri dish that has viruses in it, will it actually kill the virus? And it had some kind of effect, but not really that much of effect. At least the outcome that we really would want is to kill, you know, the virus that you might have. And then simple as pure oregano drop oil, oregano into the virus, 100% killed it, right? So if you think about what kind of power would, say, oregano in this perspective have, this plant have, powerful, right? And to kill out a virus, the artificial. So the key is in nature. The key is nature. Nature all overwrites the inverted and eradicates the inverted if you seed it in. And that's why we teach what we teach through all our over 900 videos, is to, we are bringing back the organic blueprint of the plants and humanity, the mountains, the trees, to seed the crystalline energy back here, so that we could potentially basically ascend out in the future. So what we could do is you know, support companies that are actually organic, because a lot of them say they're organic but they're not. Feel out the energy, clearing out dark energy on that. Trust your heart before you make a decision. Try not to make it sometimes impulsive. Sometimes you will just know and make the right decision, but sometimes you need to sit with the decision of what you're about to intake into your body. So what you would do is, say you take a organic supplement, you go back to that plant that gave that life force, or that is being used through false plant medicine. Just because people want to get high and feel all that, you could do that just with a breath. Oxygen is consciousness. Why do you think you get all these answers? So we can go deep on that, but so use the oxygen instead and breathe that in, instead of having to use plants like this. So send love to all plant life. You can maybe include it in your shields every day, sending love to the earth and including the plants who are here to help us heal, can eradicate viruses. Okay. All right, next one is, it sounds so simple, but it is really, it's just love, guys. Love is what transmutes and evolves us and shifts us into orbiting higher perspectives, higher timelines. It is a love of source, creator, love light. Okay, when people get their blood drawn at the doctor's office and it goes to the lab, do you use it do they use it invertedly to harm or curses and black magics? Yeah, they do. So you want to bifurcate into those times and spaces when you didn't know any better, and you delete that data that they have, book an aura session or work on it on your own. Just we teach what course bifurcate, the Isis priest course again. The Oracle of Delphi, I have part 1 and part 2. She really teaches us of how to travel through time space too. Incredible courses, guys. Just I challenge you. I challenge you. I encourage you. I encourage you. That's a better word. I encourage you. If you haven't done one course, do one course. One of those simple courses that I mentioned, whether it's the Raphael, the Oracle of Delphi, or the Mother Mary course, or the Egyptian course, and you will see how you are going to tell yourself, why did I take so long? My constant testimonial reviews that I keep posting now is like, why did I take so long to get to you? And that's what I keep hearing. People that have been watching me for 5-6 years are like, AuroRa, a recent person that signed up to become an Aura practitioner. And she said that she's been trying to get to me for 6 years. And every time she would try to get to me, something would happen. Some kind of bad luck streak would happen, and she'd be pulled away, or she would start listening to someone else and she'd get pulled in that direction. And she was so excited, like one of the most exciting person I've ever seen to get to me. She's like, now that she's like in front of me in the space, right? It was through Zoom, but she could still feel, energy could be felt whether you're in front of them or not. She's like, oh my God, I can't, she's like, I'm here. I've done it. I'm here. I got myself here. And wow. And then she said, there's no way that you in any form are negative in any form. I was like, no, that's just the entities talking. Thank you for coming into that realization. It's the entities in you, entities in the land. They're like, oh, don't go to her. Yeah, we have the alchemy, which I am the guardian to this, and Divine Mother's teachings. All right, so let me see. Okay. Only love light, only love, guys. All right, so the next one is, so you want to go delete that because they have your DNA, your blood. Okay, so skinwalkers are just entities that use people as hosts. Yeah. So they haven't left. They're tied basically to their original inverted dark witch or dark warlock, whatever. And they are they can't ascend out because they're not a vibratory match to ascension. So then they're just jumping people's bodies to stay alive, and to basically the people who they're attached to do their bidding for them. And yeah, this goes deep. Again, I talk about it in Aura Hypnosis, a type of negative entity that doesn't have its own body. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it doesn't have its own body, but see, these skinwalkers are born to a lot of like a kind of like Illuminati, say, families. So in that perspective, they could have been born, and they could jump other people's bodies, and they could also be in their own body while they're possessing someone else at the same time. They could do that. I mean, these skinwalkers, I mean, they could do stuff that you don't even think that is possible, but it is. I mean, they could turn themselves into animals, shapeshift. They could, but these animals won't have light in them though, right? Dark eyes. Yeah, sorry. So you look at these animals, they don't have light when the light reflects in their eyes. They're these skinwalkers. They're empty, basically. The way you can recognize a skinwalker is like if you look into their eyes, be cautious, because that's how they kind of like soul tie you. But if you're shielded, will be good with love light. But their eyes are empty. They're like this infinite empty darkness of nothingness. Like, give you the creeps for sure. Like scary, cold, freezing creeps. So someone else said, what about the curses in Wicked? Cynthia Vial and Ariana Grande look different now. Yeah, they do, right? Yeah, I tried to watch that movie, and I heard the whole time, like, if I try to watch something and I try to give it a chance, the whole time all I keep hearing is from my like angelic team is like, that's false, they're lying, this is a spell, this is a spell, this is a spell. This whole movie, it was the worst one I've ever watched that had like tons of spells in it. And yeah, Uh, I wonder if that book, when was that book written? Text me, Gina. Was that written, what year was that written? I feel like it was in some form, it did become positive, but then, you know, like Disney, right? Who owns it? Inverted it? Whoever owns it? Yeah, let me know, Gina. Yeah. So next one is, should we tap into the energy of the blue symbol in the sky to help assist with breaking the collective false twin flames? I would, absolutely. This could help you with the twin flame removal curse. Yeah, for sure. Powerful, because it's mother and father unified together. 6-9 too, yeah. Come to California, 6-9. Let's go. Come on. June 9. Okay. All right, so those are all your questions. Comments from chat. Someone said 32425. Yeah, that was the date of that symbol, equals 16, which equals 7. Powerful. We're talking about the 7 elements, 7 islands of Hawaii and other locations, 7 sisters. The 7 sisters that took down the Archon, which are the elements: earth, fire, water, wind, crystal, sun. I channeled them. You could watch that. It was printed September 29, 1995. Not as old as I thought. I wonder, I don't know. I feel like they took that story. Didn't they take it? I feel like they took it from like one of those Grimm stories. You know, like the old stories, like the Grimm tales and stuff. I don't feel like that's original. Yeah, they're showing me that that it was taken. Okay, so I do feel that that story was original, positive, but it's definitely not anymore. Okay. Next comment. Someone said, "Woo, that's huge. That must be maybe the twin flames." It's like the Batman sign for twin flames. They are coming in. It is like the Batman sign. Not a holograph, because I mean you would see the light coming into it. I mean, and it also changes and morphs. I mean, that's truly completely all organic. Wave of love to the children without harming anyone. Yes, always sending love to the children. Someone said, I'm trying to get a restraining order from my ex. Yeah, sending you love. Ooh. Next one is beautifully said. Twin flames working through every little detail of all incarnations. LOL, but so worth it. Yes, this good work. Good work. Someone said, wow, so beautiful. Thank you for this video. It's tremendous. It is. Thank you. Thank you for being here and just being part of this live. And if you're joining us later, thank you for being here. Those of you who are live, hit like right now. Let's help the algorithm. Hit like right now. Thank you. Write a comment too. Don't forget to write comments, because you guys comment tons here in chat and then you forget to write a comment later. So someone said, I've been using a oregano eucalyptus saline. It helps you so much. Beautiful. The Raphael course was your favorite, the best, and you've taken all of them. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. That's like, wow. You understand, like Raphael taught us about body anatomy, and it's like not like they teach you in the university. People tell me, like, you know, they got like PhD degrees and like bachelor's degrees or whatever. They went to college and they're like, I didn't understand what they were talking about, but now I do. Or you completely made sense of it all, you know? And then we clear up what they falsify in the teachings too. So I mean, guys, this is like a real mystical mystery school of university, for real. I'm telling you. I mean, you cannot go wrong. You'll love it. You'll love it. Someone said, I feel this year my life will finally shift after years of being stuck in suffering with narcissists. Yes, it will. And that symbol is the key and the clue that those who have been entrapped within this spell are free now. And it's 2 right now. As I said that, nice. Okay, let's see if there's any other questions that came up while I read the comments. Yeah, we're good. No other questions, comments. Powerful work, you all. Thank you for being here. Let me think. Is there anything else I can add that I might have missed? Something incredible is happening in the land, you all. I think I had to talk about it in another video, though. The animals have shifted, you all. They're not just animals. Yeah, I'll make a video. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I love you, honor you, and love you, honor you, and respect you. Come meet me in California, Sequoia, Yosemite, June 6-9. Let's go. Powerful Vortex portal there. Especially with the symbol I just showed you guys. What are you waiting for? Come on over. You're gonna love it. I am, just like you see me here, I am just like I am, full of love and even more. And yeah, come get a hug and come heal yourself and save yourself. You are your own savior, and we're here to teach you the teachings, but you do it all. Like I always say, I'm no one's guru, but I'm here to hold the space so you can wake up and unveil the trappings. And then otherwise, I'll join you in Ireland. You guys, my goodness, we talked about that. Where did we talk about that? What video? It's the 13th gate. That's right. What video was that? The 13th gate is opening there. I think Cursed Lands, no, the Avalon one. Avalon video. Check that out. And the 13th gate is opening, and I am going to be there as it's opening and vibrating now. Woo! I'm feeling the love. That's where I'm going to be at. So because that Ireland has a connection to the inner earth, as it is the gateway to the inner earth, and then there's more to that. So come join me at the retreat so you can find out more. Thank you for being you. I love you, honor you, and respect you. Thank you. See you next time. Let's go. Woo! Boom. Let's end it with a song really quick. Where's the song? Dance it off. Make sure you put on music all weekend. Have some fun. Boom. Let's go. I love this because you're thumping. Thump to the beat of the drum. Thump to the beat of Mother Earth's heart. Boom, boom, boom. All right, guys. Love you. Talk to you later. Have a beautiful time. Thank you. Enjoy life. Let's go. Let's go. Nothing's holding you back anymore. Only yourself. Don't do it no more. Let's go. See you next time.